Opening strike, the spark of arrogance. The Velari Dominion had always considered themselves untouchable. Their fleets were vast, their technology centuries ahead of most border species, and their discipline absolute. When they encountered a small human trade convoy near the gas giant 407, they didn't hesitate. 3 civilian freighters, unarmed, slow, and carrying nothing more than ore and grain, were bracketed in a net of Velari warships. The Dominion commander gave no warning, no parley, no chance of retreat. Instead, he broadcast a mocking message across every frequency. Humans, soft, naive, weak. You cross our borders without permission. That arrogance will cost you your lives. The freighters were annihilated in a blaze of plasma fire. Escape pods were tracked and destroyed as sport. To the Velari, it was nothing more than entertainment, another show of dominance. They celebrated in orbit, laughing at the feeble cries of a species they believed too civilized to retaliate. Mockery in the aftermath. Word spread quickly. Across Dominion space, taverns and barracks echoed with laughter. The story of the weak humans who couldn't defend their own traders became a joke, repeated with sneers. In a border outpost bar on the planet Gorn, a group of Velari soldiers boasted about the slaughter. Their voices were loud, their postures smug, as they slammed their drinks and acted out the scene of fleeing escape pods. They didn't notice the silence spreading through the room. At the far end of the bar sat a handful of humans, freighter crew, miners, and one off-duty Marine with scars across his jaw. None wore uniforms. None raised their voices. They simply listened. The Velari's laughter grew crueler. "You humans are pathetic," one soldier sneered, pointing directly at the Marine. "Your colonies are like children's toys, your fleets rusting antiques. Soon, the Dominion will own your little blue rock, too." The Marine stood slowly, setting his glass down with deliberate calm. His voice was quiet, almost too quiet to be heard. "You just made the last mistake your species will ever make." The bar fight. The first punch cracked bone. A Velari soldier, easily 2 meters tall and armored in scaled skin, went sprawling into a table. Before his companions could react, chairs splintered, glasses shattered, and the human Marine moved with a speed that was terrifying. He wasn't alone. The freighter crew and miners joined in, not soldiers, just civilians, but fueled by rage. One swung a wrench, another a shattered bottle, and together they brought the Velari down one by one. The bar erupted into chaos, but what struck the onlookers wasn't the violence itself, it was the precision. Humans fought like predators, coordinated even without words. Their blows were merciless, aimed to cripple, not to spar. Within minutes, the Velari squad, warriors who had laughed about massacring civilians, lay broken on the floor, groaning, bloodied, their arrogance stripped away. The silence afterward was heavier than the fight. Whispers spread. If a handful of unarmed humans could dismantle Dominion soldiers in a bar, what would their fleets do in war? The turning point, Earth responds. The Dominion dismissed the incident at first. Bar scuffle, they said, insignificant. But humans did not forget. Within weeks, the United Earth Directorate demanded accountability for the destroyed freighters. The Dominion refused, mocking once again. The galaxy noticed something then. Earth went silent. No trade ships crossed borders. No diplomats spoke in chambers. For 2 months, humanity's voice disappeared. And then the silence broke. Signals erupted across the stars, encrypted commands, fleet mobilizations, call-ups of reserves. Massive engines thundered to life in the Sol system as humanity unveiled ships the galaxy had never seen. Dreadnoughts with hulls dark as midnight, carriers bristling with strike craft, destroyers lined like wolves in a pack. On every frequency, a single warning spread. Earth remembers, Earth answers. Climax, retribution unleashed. The retaliation began at Faros 7, where the freighters had been slaughtered. A Dominion garrison of 50 warships waited, smug and unafraid. They watched as human vessels blinked into orbit, at first only a handful. The Velari commander laughed, ordering weapons primed. Then the stars themselves seemed to tear open. Dozens of human dreadnoughts arrived in perfect formation, blotting out the system's light. Carrier wings swarmed forward like storms of fire, each fighter armed with weapons tuned precisely against Velari shields. Planetary bombardment ships aligned, their barrels glowing with the promise of annihilation. The battle was short, brutal, and absolute. Velari ships exploded in waves, their formations shattered. Human railguns punched through hulls like paper, torpedoes split cruisers apart, and electronic warfare shut down their vaunted command nets. The Dominion fleet didn't retreat, it simply ceased to exist. From system to system, the pattern repeated. Human fleets advanced like a tide, crushing garrisons, dismantling defenses, and leaving only silence in their wake. Colonies that had once feared Velari rule erupted in cheers as Earth's banners appeared above them. To the galaxy, it was as though a sleeping giant had risen. Humanity, the civilized, weak, harmless species, had revealed its claws. The scale of vengeance. What terrified observers most was not the brutality of Earth's retribution, but the precision. Humans did not kill indiscriminately. Civilian populations were spared. Infrastructure was left intact. But every Dominion warship, every fortress, every proud symbol of Velari military power was burned away. The fleets moved like storms guided by cold calculation. Admirals gave no speeches, no boasts, no threats, only the steady advance of annihilation. In the Galactic Council chambers, other species watched in dread. Some whispered that humanity had been waiting for this, that their fleets had been hidden, their weapons tested in secret, their resolve forged across centuries of conflict on their own world. Now unleashed, nothing could stand in their way. Aftermath, the whispered fear. The Dominion sued for peace after losing half their navy. Their envoys entered Earth's chambers trembling, stripped of arrogance. Humanity accepted their surrender with chilling silence. No parades were held, no leaders boasted. The fleets simply returned to Sol, their hulls still scorched from war, and waited. In every bar across the galaxy, the story spread. It no longer mattered who had been in that tavern on Gorn. The tale had become legend, a bar fight where a few humans stood against mockery and showed the galaxy what Earth was made of. Now the whisper was everywhere. Never provoke Earth again. Because patience was humanity's greatest strength. They would endure insult, tolerate arrogance, and smile through humiliation. But once blood was spilled, once their people were harmed, their vengeance was infinite. The Velari had learned that in fire and silence. The galaxy, watching with bated breath, would never forget.